Okay, this is a little odd. First video of the year. First video in months, I think, actually. So being back on camera is a little odd. And I'm just getting over a cold, so that's fun too. Hi, hello. For those of you who are new here, my name is Lady Aphrodite. And this is my YouTube channel where I talk about everything from spirituality to growing pains, the subconscious. Pretty much we talk about everything. I'm not even going to go through a whole list. It's just, there's no point. I talk about a little bit of everything. Yeah. Where have I been? Why have I been gone so long? I think the best way to word it at this point, Saturn return. My Saturn return. That is where I've been. That's why I've been gone so long. So my life has not fallen apart. It's reshaped itself. Not completely, because I'm still like right in the midst of my Saturn return. I'd say I'm like right. I almost want to say, I don't want to say directly smack dab in the middle. I want to say like April or May of this year would be like the middle, because my Saturn return ends in like 2026. So a ways to go, but it started last year in April. Just per like my personal transits. And it's been a wild ride. I had some traumatic shit happen to me. I ran away to New York to deal with said traumatic shit, but only for a couple days. I was only there for a couple days with some friends. Came back, still processed the trauma. Never stopped doing what I loved, which is reading for people. I still do readings all day, every day. Not really, because I need to have rest between clients, but I still very much do my readings. That has not changed and that will not change. I love being the bridge between this realm and the other realms. Found out more about my spiritual sort of design and purpose. Loved just the regular title of like psychic medium. Ooh, you know what I mean? Like it was cool to put on my business cards. But because that's what I was told initially, like when I had started to understand myself, because all of the women, who came before me have already passed on, and they all practiced in some way or another, but they're all gone. So like anything that they teach me through meditation. So like I will meditate, or I'll go into, the astral realm, and I will link up with my mother or my grandmother or my great grandmother, and we will, exchange information then, or they'll give me like tidbits of things like, oh, this week your focus needs to be more like astrology based, or this week you need to be focused on like what's happening like in your world, not like in the spirit realm. Or they'll be like, this week the spirits aren't happy, understand that this is what's happening as a result. So everything is sort of like shifting and changing in the way that I do things, but I also am getting physical teachers here now, like just in the physical, which is great because I need more elders. I have elders and I'm so grateful for them, but I'm getting new ones, which is what I think I need on the second leg of my journey. Because as I tread through my Saturn return, one of my mentors comes to me and says, well, no one told you that you're a guardian. And I'm like, no, not really. T, what's that? And he's like, bless his heart. It's just funny to me because we're around the same age. And great guy. Love him. He's just one of the best mentors because he's funny. He's just like super funny. And like that's what you want in a teacher, someone who can be like, this is not a joke. But then like throughout the lessons can like pick on you because you're not where you need to be, because that's what makes it fun and makes you not want to give up in your esoteric studies. Like, oh, I'm just not getting that. Like smack on the back of the head, like, we've been doing this for 2 fucking weeks, how do you not know this shit? But like in a funny way, like your older brother would, you know what I mean? So like it's just great when it feels like family, and I love that. So he kind of like face palmed and was explaining like, you're doing basically what you're supposed to do, but there's other things you're not doing, and no one told you you were a guardian. So you unlocked all your guardian like stuff, like your spirit animals and and this and that and the other thing, and you know how to utilize the keys, and you know how to open the doors and work at the crossroads and everything, but no one told you what you're supposed to be doing. Like, no one gave you instruction. They just kind of said, "Boop, good luck." I was like, yeah, that's pretty much what just happened. I got knocked on my path, and I said, doo-doo. Because no one told me what to do, I just took on the role of mediumship, because, like, that's what was easiest at the time. The doors were already opening, and I already had the keys, so it was just easier to be the bridgeway, between people and their ancestors, which that was like one of the first doors that appeared to me, was the door to the ancestor realm. There are doors to your ancestors, to my ancestors, to very specific things, and then there is the ancestor realm. Like, that in itself has its own door. That was the first door that sort of appeared to me. It was the first door that I ventured into and around. And it was very much crazy to me. I think I met another guardian while trying to enter into the ancestor realm, because I remember everything being so meticulous, and I loved it. I loved it. They were like, okay, name, I need your name, I need your date of birth, and I need like which system you're coming from, like, obviously, like, Pleiades system, so like where you're coming from, like who's escorting you, what is your business in here, and I'm understanding that the way that they're doing these things now is so that entities that have no business being in these particular sectors can't follow you in and out. You don't want to go into the ancestor realm and come out with something that don't belong to you, or you don't want to bring an entity in. You don't want it to like piggyback off of you, which is also why I got heavily scolded for being able to boop into the Akashic records. I know there's a doorway, and I know that there's a key to get in and out, but for whatever reason, when I meditate, I'm able to just get in. And he was like, that's cool, and I know it feels cool. Stop doing that shit. And I was like, why? And he was like, because stuff can follow you in. You just booped in. How do you know someone didn't just hold onto your shoulder and boot with you? I was like, oh yeah. So, like, you ever feel like you're at the top of the food chain and someone comes and knocks you off that fucking pedestal real fucking quick? That is my mentor, ladies and gentlemen. That is my teacher currently. And I have to say, I'm loving every second of it, because with every lesson comes, like, more clients, which I know is kind of weird to say, but, like, when I learn more from him and I'm better guarded and I'm better booted and suited, I get new clients who are on a different level, because I'm able to then handle them with more care. These are like people that I wouldn't have been able to deal with because I wouldn't have been on that caliber. I just wouldn't have been ready. And so, yeah, my Saturn return definitely, there was a lot of these questions about make sure that you still believe in what you believe in. And a lot of it has to do with the fact that because of what my general, like, job is spiritually, I have to tread that middle ground, and I can't really have a bias, which means I can't really say what is good and what is evil. Obviously, I have my own code of conduct that I live by, having the human experience. So let's just start there. I don't, obviously, like, if we were to look at this from a biblical perspective, I would say that I'm pretty good at following the 10 Commandments. Pretty good. I mean, I'm human, or I'm having the human experience. I wouldn't call myself human. That was a joke, or was it? Am I one of them? Who knows? Maybe I'm outing myself right now. No, but anyone who has spiritual eyes can see what I am. So, hi, hello. I'm rocking it. Hi, how you doing? So I'd say that I'm pretty good, like, if we're looking at it from a biblical standpoint, that is. Everyone looks at it differently. I will just, it doesn't have to be from a biblical standpoint, because I work with all sorts of gods and deities. They have come to me, and they are scary, and they are terrifying, and they're great. And they're great. That's why I'm able to get so much work done, and that's why I'm able to preach so much about different things and different topics and different realms and different dimensions, right? I'm not a devotee of any one god or goddess or deity, or, it just doesn't work that way with my job, mostly because I need to bring their children to them. I have to have access to them. I have to know of them. As a matter of fact, the sun came in. I'm reaching that stage in my journey where I'm being introduced to the old gods, and I still don't know how I'm handling that, because old gods are just, you can't fathom that information. And so I have to figure out either talking to someone or working with someone who can delicately help me translate the proper information. With the state of the world, the old gods are doing what they need to do. I'm just going to say, like, a couple weeks ago, my crown's sort of doing that thing again. A couple weeks ago, when I was having a moment, I was told it was never meant to be covered in water. It was always going to be covered in flames. And that was sort of the prophecy. And then they dipped off and left. They do that quite often. They'll leave sort of a prophecy in rhymes and riddles, and they'll leave. Anyone who works with gods, goddesses, deities, energies, entities, anything like that knows that they just speak in riddles and codes and rhymes and expect you to figure it out. They'll speak in song too. They'll do that too. It's like a key point in doing things, because you need to be far along enough in your journey to where you should be able to decipher these things. They're never going to make it easy for you, because if it's easy for you, then it's easy for everyone else. Decipher that shit. What did I just say? It was never meant to be covered in water. It was always meant to be covered in fire. Or it was never meant to be, covered in water. It was always meant to be covered in fire. I had this vision a couple of times where, like, dormant volcanoes that weren't active were active, and people were having to choose. Do we figure out how to get around this, or do we just accept the fact that the world is burning and we sort of jump headfirst into this volcano Pompeii style and just get it over with? Like, the visions I used to have as a kid went crazy. Mind you, that could just be that the world is burning and there's a massive cleanse. And the question here is, do I accept the cleansing, and do I cleanse myself along with it? Or do I find a way around it? Not everything has to be so gruesome. We're shown it in gruesome ways because we need to know the severity of it, but oftentimes it's not in that way. While the volcano thing might happen, I don't think it'll happen like that. But that's just sort of how they speak to people who can handle prophecies in riddles and codes. Even if they give you a vision, the vision is in riddles and codes. It's never just the vision itself. And anyone who has received a prophecy sort of knows that, oh, I've seen something about the state of the world. I don't know how to sort of explain what I've just seen about the state of the world. How do I say this without scaring people? Well, did you even dissect what you just saw, or are you going to run with it? Dissect what you just saw first. Make sure it means what it means. Speak to an elder. Make sure it's good before you share your prophecy with the world. Sometimes man tends to mistake the prophecy, and Hathor has been sort of explaining this to me over the course of the last couple weeks as she's been utilizing my vessel for some interesting things. The prophecy's been so skewed that people have taken what is supposed to be a metaphor literally, and what is supposed to be literal as a metaphor. So all of the things that we think are going to happen aren't going to happen in that way. And all of the things that we were like, oh, this is just sort of like a metaphor. It's like, not a metaphor. You should have been paying attention. So Saturn return has been crazy because it's elevated me to where I need to be. So definitely doing its thing with pulling things apart and dissecting things, and the rebuilding and the rebranding pretty much of me and who I am, but not to my detriment. I think if you're one of those individuals who's just willing to let go, and being someone with a lot of 12th house placements, I just am willing to let go. I'm unbothered. I have a lot of 12th house placements. Like, Saturn rules my chart. I am Saturnian. It just rules my chart. I'm the queen of, if it has a beginning, it has an ending. but surely there is a new beginning. So I always look forward to the new beginning. I'm always in a death and a rebirth cycle. I'm always in a death and rebirth process. I am always understanding cycles and then helping other people understand their cycles and then helping them move forward. That's quite literally part of my job as well. I don't cling to anything at this point. I always just say to myself, as long as nobody's dying, you know what I mean? I'm a mom, I have a family, I'm not married, obviously, still very much single, divorced, living life. We love our Saturn return. Divorce came well before the Saturn return, you know, but breakups and understanding what I need in a relationship and in a partnership, that kind of stuff all sort of been happening while I was gone and just needing time and understanding. And so I didn't really feel comfortable being in front of the camera, getting my health together, getting my mind together, getting my vessel together. Because if you're not right in the mind, you're not going to be solid anywhere else. And the spiritual warfare currently is on the mind. And people need to be ready for that. People need to be ready for that. Yeah, because people are going to fall into all sorts of spiritual psychosis. They're going to claim to know things that they don't know. They're going to accuse you of things. Unfortunately, that's happened to me a couple of times. I will say this. If you are very heavily into the spiritual community and you want to do something to protect yourself other than just the plain old warding, consider this, because this is what I do. But then again, I have a different sort of understanding and knowledge and way of doing things. Ward your readings. I don't know if I worded that correctly, but I'll explain it. And be very strategic and specific about it. Obviously, if someone wants to get a read on me, they can. I have nothing to hide. I don't care about that. I'm on a very public platform. I don't give a shit. All you're going to see is trauma and me crying like a little baby in the corner. So good luck processing that. I mean, I had to spend my whole life processing that shit. Good luck. What I mean is like my inventions, anything I want to tap into in the future, who I work with, all of the important things, I have sort of like a special protection on so that if anyone's trying to read it, oh, what is she going to do 6 months from now? Like, I kind of want those ideas now. I'm not saying this happens to me. I'm saying this could happen to you. You ever have an inkling that someone's trying to steal your work? Okay, well then maybe just do this. The cards will flip out all sorts of backwards and give them the wrong information. I'm not suggesting chaos, but I'm suggesting chaos. Because in 2025, why are we getting readings on our homegirls and our friends? Why are we stealing? Why are we poaching ideas? And why are we going to the astral realm to do it? Fuck that. I mean, I don't even know YouTube guidelines anymore. At this point, I'm not even concerned about being monetized. As much as I curse, I'm not even concerned about being monetized. Fuck that. I will do what's necessary. Yeah. So anytime someone's trying to get a read on what I'm doing next week, who I'm going out on a date with, what's their relationship looking like, honey, to you, it's falling apart. It's a rickety bridge. It ain't working. I have no ideas. I'm a bum. You don't know shit. And that's how it's going to stay every time you look at the damn cards. Every time you look at the damn cards, I hope you get the Tower card. I hope you get the Death card. Something. My life is in shambles. It's in destruction. Because why are you looking at my shit so hard anyway? But that's just for people who are sort of nosy. If you're good enough to do sort of if you're powerful enough to get into my space, then you're met by someone at my gate who then asks you what the hell you're doing there. Why are you here? Why are you in this space? Why are you... Not only that, but again, just, other things I'm not going to talk about. But, yeah, always make sure you have a little something extra up your sleeve, a little oomph. This Saturn return has taught me so much, and we're just getting started. Also, I turned 30 this year, dirty 30. So it's a lot of needing to be sure of myself, be firm in my stance and have a greater understanding of me and my practice and what I can bring to the spiritual community, the esoteric community, bridging together spirituality and the sciences, because I'm getting a lot of information about the two. And like I said, everything to me is in numbers and codes, and it's interesting just seeing how particular frequencies and music pitches are used as keys to open doors in the astral realm too. And just so many things you wouldn't think are used to get from one space to another, one dimension to another. It's so magical. It's so beautiful to look at, but it's like, it's crazy. It could be one pitch off and you're not getting let in. You could be one little tidbit off, and it's just, but it's so beautiful to look at when it's just numbers and code, and it's just there, and it's just existing, because it's either existing or it isn't. And like, that's the one thing that I've always loved about spirituality and science and how it sort of comes together. It just is, you know? But again, that's always been sort of, I work with those. So are we even surprised that that is something that just came out of my mouth? Are we even surprised that that is something that just came out of my mouth? No, not even a little. Yeah, but when I start making these videos more regularly, because that is what is going to happen, I will update you on the Moldavite series, because yes, I've been working with my Moldavite through my Saturn return. So we're going to talk about how that gave it a little extra kick. Also malachite, Moldavite, malachite, and rose quartz. I've been teetering through the three. Well, my malachite and my rose quartz, I work together. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about the trauma. We're going to talk about the healing. We're going to talk about how to let things go. We're going to talk about letting things go the first time. A lot of these series are going to end up being for women. I'm finding in their late 20s, like early 40s actually, because it's a lot of like entering your second leg of life and really just doing things. And I've noticed that like as women of color, the older we get, the more we don't like to be idle or bored, and we'll literally just go out here and do shit. Like we will get certified in literally everything just because we're bored. For fun. For fucking fun. And yet we will still allow people, places, and things to stay in our life that don't make any sense. We will literally elevate ourselves for fun, but allow a bum to cling to us, and I just don't get it. So we need to sit down and have a conversation. And when that video comes out, I'm warning y'all, I'm not holding your hand when we have this conversation. So when that video comes out, grab your tissues, grab your tea, grab your vodka. I don't know what you might need. Roll a spliff. I don't know. I'm not holding your hand. Cause shit, I wish somebody would have skiddity-beep-bop me upside the head. No love. I mean, all the love, but like tough love. But yeah, that's where I've been. I'm back now. The sun is gone, but it'll be back. Just like me. But yeah, I hope this video was informative. I hope it was funny. I hope it was very Lady Aphrodite. It's just me. Very all over the map. I've never just been normal. Told you it would be back. Anyways, yeah, that's my video. And if you want to book a reading with me, if you feel like you are in one of these transitional positions and you do want to book a reading with me, in the description box, you can find my link. Yeah, you can book with me. My calendar should be like pretty much open for spots in January for the weekends. And yeah, so happy booking. And if I book with you, I know it'll be a lot of fun. And for those of you who have already booked with me, because a lot of you have, thank you so much. It's been so much fun just reading for you and connecting with you and getting to know you. And yeah, I hope that we will continue this journey throughout this year, because it's going to be crazy. So you're going to see a lot more information. You're going to see a lot more video footage of me going to these spots talking to people, talking to mentors. Hopefully I'll get to go to some temples this year too, and you'll see me there because a lot of the next levels of teachings that I need, I'm sure will be at some temples. And to the individuals who've been waiting for me to get to this level so that you can, speak to me, hi, I finally made it. It's time. You can hit me up now. You can hit me up now. Yeah, and I hope you have a great rest of your day or evening, depending on where you are. Bye.